If I thought going through the actual surgery was tough, coming to terms with the fact that I actually did it was just as hard. I would not look at my arm. I simply refused. And for the first few days at the hospital, that was fine, because I was so drugged up by all of the painkillers and muscle relaxers and anti-rejection meds that I couldn't see straight. But as the days went by, it became clear that my time in the hospital was ending soon. The first indication that that was true was when the nurse who came in to clean my pin sights asked, "Do you want to give it a try today?" I said somewhat cluelessly, "Try what?" "Try cleaning your pin sights," she said cheerily. Why was everyone so cheery at this hospital? Just because you say something cheerfully? It doesn't make it any less scary or difficult to do. "I can't even look at my arm," I said. "How am I supposed to clean the pin sights?" "You'll get used to it," she said. I did not give it a try that day. I did try to watch while she did it, but it was very difficult. I could only stomach glances at it. The worst part of it was seeing the metal going into my skin, knowing that it was attached to my bones. Over the next few days, I did get brave enough to put on the antibiotic ointment, but that was it. When it came to doing the scrubbing part with the saline, I just couldn't do it. Well, I had to go home anyway, whether I could do it or not. A family member agreed to do it at home. The nurse showed them how to do it because they couldn't do it either. Not at the hospital. The ride home from the hospital was the worst car ride of my life. Every bump, every slightest sway of the car translated into searing pain in my arm. I had it resting on 3 pillows on my lap. Maybe it helped like the nurses said it would. I couldn't imagine what it would have been like without the pillows then. My pin sights had been cleaned at the hospital before I left, but the very next day it was time to clean them again. The family member who had agreed to help me with it got the Q-tips, gauze pads, saline, and ointment ready, but when I took off my sling and set my arm on the table, my family member couldn't even look at it. I knew that I couldn't do the scrubbing, but I could tell that I was far more able to deal with my machine than my family member was. I couldn't open the packaging by myself, especially the sterilized Q-tips, but I could handle them well enough. I took off the old gauze pads, my family member handed me the Q-tips, and even though I didn't think I could do it, I did the scrubbing pretty decently well. I didn't even faint. I did get a little squeamish a time or two. I did the pin sights I could see at first, but after doing those, I was also able to navigate the pin sights that I couldn't see. The task was done, the cleaning kit was packaged up. As my family member got up to go, they immediately fell to their knees on the floor. It took them a moment or two to get back up on their feet, but they managed it eventually. I'm telling you, my machine was an eyesore for sure.